Hi, this is Matthew from Bean Machines. So today we're reviewing the Spaziale S5 coffee machine. And what we like to do with our reviews is basically put all the specifications that you'll see advertised by the manufacturer into simple layman talk so that you can understand exactly what each point is. So you'll see these machines referred to as semi-automatic or automatic. Really, semi-automatic, think of it as manual. It's not really automatic at all. An automatic machine will have dosers that are pre-programmed by your engineer which dispense a certain amount of water. A semi-automatic machine, you'll have to start and stop the water. You don't want that. That's going to give you loads of variance in terms of the cup and the taste of the coffee. You hardly see them anymore, and typically when people have bought that, it's by accident. They're advertised about £500 cheaper, so just be careful that you're always going for the automatic version. Now, going to the buttons, obviously one of the other things that you'll see advertised is that you have automatic dose setting. That is obviously on the automatic version, so you press that and it can be dispensing enough water for 1 espresso. You press that one and it can be calibrated to set enough for 2 espressos so that everything is correctly measured. The machine comes with 2 steam arms and 1 hot water spout, allowing 2 people to work on the machine at the same time. If you've only got 1 steam arm, you obviously can only have 1 person making coffees on it at once. You could have 1 person making a coffee over here, 1 person making a coffee over there, using the steam arm and the handle over there as well. You'll also see advertised built-in volumetric pump. What that essentially means is that the pump is inside the machine. That's actually not a big thing these days. Most machines come with the pump inside. In the old days it used to be, when I first started selling machines, they used to have the pumps outside. They don't really do that anymore. Electronic boiler refill, that just means it refills the boiler as the boiler empties. Again, most machines you're going to see on the market have got that feature. Double pressure gauge for boiler and pump pressure. That's this thing down here. Why do you want that? Well, one is measuring the pressure inside of your boiler. That should be around 1 bar, and the other one's measuring the pressure coming through your group head, which should be around 9 bar. When it's not in use, it will be showing you the water pressure in your building which is coming into the machine. That will help you to make sure that obviously you can see that if your machine is working correctly or not, and help you to diagnose things with someone over the phone. The next thing that you'll see advertised is the electric heating system. So that essentially means what it says. It's basically heating by electric use. There's some machines heat by gas. They're very rare. The real thing that's different with this machine is moving on to the next point you'll see advertised, which is boiler temperature indicated by LED display, and then you'll also see the electronic boiler temperature regulation. Now this is really where we start to get into stuff that makes Spaziale a bit different. So most machines basically regulate the temperature by a pressure stat, which means it's measuring the pressure and then trying to regulate the temperature from the pressure. That's not ideal because you've got then two things trying to control one, so you've got the errors of both systems adding up and giving you a really high fluctuating temperature at the other end. What you want is a system that basically measures the temperature exactly and gives you the temperature that basically it says that it's delivering. So on here you'll see 120. This is the temperature inside the boiler, not the temperature at the group heads. That will be too hot for coffee. But obviously on a machine, that temperature that is inside of the boiler, if that goes down, that will also then affect the temperature of the group at the group level as well, which is providing the coffee. Typically that will be in the 90s. If this comes down, it will be in the low 90s. If this goes up, it'll be in the high 90s. But this at least gives you some control over the temperature. On other machines you don't have that. You can have a temperature variance by as much as plus or minus 7 degrees, which is huge. You can really tell the difference just on 1 to 2 degrees. So that'll give you an idea on what it does to your coffee. The next thing that you'll see advertised on machines is the ability to boost the temperature when you're busy. That just basically means that the system will allow you to increase the temperature at times when the machine is being pushed really hard. As we said before, it uses PID. What that does is instead of the temperature going up and down and varying all over the place, PID measures the temperature it's at now, the temperature where it needs to get to, and it calculates the energy that the system needs to use to get to that point. That's more efficient, so it uses less electricity, and it's also more accurate, so it gives you better consistency on your coffee throughout the day. You'll see advertised that you can deactivate the electric heating system. That's really only useful for an engineer that wants to trap water without burning himself with hot water. You can basically put 16 centimeters delivery on your spouts. That basically what that means is that you can have a tall machine where you've got more distance so you can fit a larger cup. That relates to one of the other extras that it says you can have, which is basically having a taller cup tray. Again, that's so that your taller cups don't accidentally topple over the side. It doesn't really happen anyway. I'll probably save you money and not go for that option. Removable support grid for espresso cups. Essentially what that is this. It's really a tray which will allow you to put cups underneath. So obviously if you think about it, if you've got a tall machine and you're doing sitting cups, you don't want it dropping from a great height, splashing all over the cup. So basically you bring the cup up to nearer to the dispensing nozzle by using these trays here that you can see on the machine. Next point that you'll see is electric cup warmer. We're moving on to the additional things that you can get on the machine. So save your money, don't get it. You've got a boiler in there already kicking out loads of heat. Why on earth do you want to stick an element in, use more electricity? It's not required, not necessary. Next point you'd see is upgraded boiler element. Again, if you're looking at upgrading your boiler element, instead of doing that, maybe you need a better machine or a machine capable of a higher capacity, rather than running a machine that was designed to be on the element that it's on over what it's designed to do. I think you can be asking for problems when you do something like that. Then the last point would be that you see advertised as taller cup guard. That means this goes a bit higher to allow you to get those taller takeaway cups in. To my knowledge, we've never had an issue with that, so again, save your money and don't go for that options. Really good machine. We've got more in-depth in terms of what's the differences between the Spaziale video further on down the page, because I don't think any of these points really set the Spaziale aside apart from the temperature, but we go into that more detail later on. Thanks for listening.